An enacting clause states by what authority an entity has to do a thing. The United States of America writes laws for the United States, its agency. Its agency, the United States, takes those laws and writes the statutes, codes, rules, regulations, and so on and so forth for the military to follow. In the preamble of the Articles of Confederation, we see, quote, the delegates of the United States of America in Congress assembled. The delegates of the United States of America in Article 2 of the Confederation then created the enacting clause for the military called the United States in Congress assembled. The United States of America in Congress assembled are the individual states when they unite into a single unit. They have an enacting clause, and their enacting clause is stated as, quote, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. The United States Constitution does not state an enacting clause. The articles show that the United States has the powers, rights, and jurisdictions that the United States of America gives to it. Those powers, rights, and jurisdictions are written in the Articles of Confederation. But being deficient, an addition was added to the Articles. That addition was the Constitution. The Constitution states all the powers the military will have on the military posts. The enacting clause to the United States is written in the Articles of Confederation. It is also shown in some of the earliest laws of the United States. It is the United States in Congress assembled. To obtain the most accurate information on the intention of the writers of that information, we return to the writings closest to the time the original document was written. We have seen in the Articles of Confederation that the enacting clause for the United States is the United States in Congress assembled. We see this enacting clause in some of the earliest legislation written by the United States. In 1781 and 1785, we see the enacting clause of the United States the way the Confederated States intended it. The United States and Congress assembled. We see an example in the two papers shown here from the Library of Congress. Return to the Constitution. In Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States, we see that the legislative powers within that document are given to the United States. We also see again in Article 1, Section 8, the powers granted to Congress. This Congress is a Congress of the United States, and the Congress of the United States is limited in its rights, powers, and jurisdictions. It is limited to what is written in the Articles of Confederation and later in the Constitution. It shows that it must be expressed, which is written, for the United States to claim to have power over it. The lands are written into the Constitution, and those lands are the seat of government and military post as shown in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. The lands in the Constitution are where the Constitution applies. There are only states in the Confederate Articles. The states are free, sovereign, and independent. The federal lands and the federal government are not free, sovereign, and independent because they are bound to the laws of war and to the very specific lands given to them by the states, as well as the particular powers laid out in the Constitution. So the enacting clause of the United States of America is the authority of the states in their collective capacity to pass acts for the United States and the military post under the authority of the Constitution. The Constitution allows for the United States Congress to create legislation from those acts for the men in service of the military to follow. There are, therefore, two different enacting clauses. The first, stating the authority of the states to pass acts to which the United States must follow. The other, the authority of the United States to pass legislation for the military to follow and the militia when called into actual service. What does this mean to the free people of the free states? It means that neither the United States of America nor the United States makes any laws for them to follow unless they are the militia and called into actual service of the United States.